Hello class. Now we're going to go over the derived views, and I'm going to make a bunch of videos, one per each. That way, I think last time, a lot of times I get bogged down by long videos, and I know probably people are getting tired of watching long videos when you only want to see a specific portion. So I'm going to try to make this whole derived views section individual for each of the components. Plus it breaks my time down pretty good. So let's just go over. I'm going to create a new. This is more of the exercise you guys will be working on. It'll help you. It's not going to be a graded exercise, but I suggest doing it just because I always learn by doing. So if we're in the lab, this is exactly what you'd be doing. You'd be following some examples and then trying them yourselves. So I'm just going to go over this real quickly. The first thing is going to be projected view. I'm going to open up a drawing for the first time just once. We're going to open up A size inch, FCC A size inch. And remember, there is this, if you have the start command when creating a new drawing, is automatically open. I'm just going to X out right now because I want to go over other things. And anytime you see this, Control B is the same as actually hitting the rebuild, Control B. But if you want to keep up with good sheet format, for one, change your name. You could double click in the actual sheet space. I'm just gonna, and remember, everything's always capitals. Instructor. Make sure drawing units from inch. Verify too. See, well, actually, it's kind of grayed out right here. I'm going to have to wait till I get out of it. But I'm going to change. Let me see. Hit OK. While I'm over here, always verify inch. You guys are an inch. Now right click, edit sheet format. Now this, with the PDF that you downloaded that I created of all of the derived views, I named each of those for the actual projected view, or projected view, or full partial, whatever derived view it is. That's what I named it. So I'm just going to call this, just for this first time, derived views. Then I'm going to click out. Now, technically, okay, you want to rename your sheets as you go. Go to rename down here. I'm just gonna call, well, every sheet I would name something different. Derived views. I'm going to call this one derived views just because I'm only going to, for our examples here, I'm only going to keep one sheet open and continue to go. Remember, when you're going to make a secondary sheet, it's here, add sheet. Control B, update. And then when you go to your sheet, your second sheet, rename it. You're going to have to rename the drawing, and more likely drawing file, depending on what it is. You're going to have to update the drawing file name. So whatever you're using, update that file name to it. If you go by the sheets, I have them in the drawing file name. Like I said, I have the drawing file, the actual part or assembly listed in that, so you can follow along directly from that. Sheet 2, let me just rename it, or just to show you guys, rename it another view. Another sheet, how about that? Just because. One other trick tip also, yeah, when I was working on all the drawings, I added some extra sheets into it. So if you wanted to you basically move these. If derived views need to be, wherever you drag it and drop it to, it'll move underneath that one. So if I want derived views to be underneath another sheet, pick it up. If I want another sheet to be underneath derived views, hover above it, you grab it, left click, and it'll be below it. Yeah, this first one, projected views. You've done this in the very first pages that we've learned before. You've done this in CAD 16, but just go to your model view, and then you can browse me see, I'm going to use the 1A cap for just for sample right here. And right now, if you see right here, I'm on the front view, which is going to be my parent view. So you're going to go for your standard 3 views, you know, front, top, right side, isometric. Like I say, you can do, you know, plenty of views any direction you want. And one thing, go to your parent view. If you notice this, when I click on the top view or the right view or the ISO, it always says use parent scale and use parent style. I want hidden shown, but see how I did that on this one? If I do it on the parent, it does it for all of them. Now for your isometric, ensure that you're not in the hidden mode. And also for the parent and all the other ones, tangent edges, either tangent edges with font or tangent edges removed. I just keep it with tangent edges with font. You don't want tangent edges visible. Now with the isometric or your 3D view, your tangent edge, you can either have tangent edge visible or tangent edge with font. I'd recommend tangent edge with font. You can actually add text to your views. Go to add view label. For some reason on mine, I don't know what, so I have to do it twice and then it opens up. But the good thing about this, let's say you name it front view. The good thing is now when you move it, it moves with it. You can also, click it wherever it is, where you place that text. When you move it, it moves with the viewport. Rather than manually adding text from annotation going to note. If you put a note, it's not going to be attached. So this is your projected views. Your traditional front, top, right side. That's what you're always going to see. Space them out. If you want to do a good format, remember you want the majority of your drawings aligned over more towards the left side, because if you have larger drawings, you'll have bill of materials over here. You have your notes down here, and then usually isometric you can pull up to the side, or you can keep it close. Like I say, when you import a model view, and you go down to your scale, it's picking a scale for you that best fits, and then our scale down here actually automatically updates. But as soon as I change the scale, let's say I'm thinking, oh, this is too small, I want it to be larger. Go to your use custom scale. It was 1:2, I'm going to go 1:1. Now it's larger. But now I have to space things out more. I'm just doing this large just because it's for viewing purposes. Look, the scale came up. What I'm going to do, the scale is 1:1, but I don't need that text. Why? Because always remember, if you change the scale in these views, come back over here to your edit sheet format and just update the scale. This scale applies to the entire sheet. One to one. Get back to sheet. Now the scale is correct. So anytime you change the scale, make sure you update the scale. Let's see what else. Good practice is just always keep up with your the way you actually do a drawing. So let's see, we already got center marks. How about let's do some center lines. One thing you could do is to hit the select view, and it automatically puts the center lines in for you. Easiest way, or you can manually go in and do it yourself. Now one more thing, just for your own personal use, keep your drawings well, I guess, documented. You got these drawing views like here. Change drawing views so you know what they're doing. Front view. Here's one of my projected views. Top view. This is the right view. And then this is the isometric. And one thing, as you build up more and more sheets, you'll find out that, well, especially on the same page, you can't have the same name twice. So a lot of times with these parent views and projected views, you're going to have to get unique with the names. So I spent way too much time on projected views. But the rest of them will be a lot shorter, showing you just the methodology. It'll be actually the same page. I'm going to delete these views and use the same page.